If you don't know what a Snickerdoodle is, you're not alone, because I had to look it up myself, and apparently it translates to snail noodles in German, which, if you think about it, doesn't really have anything to do with cookies. But that's why I like the internet, because you can learn new things like how to make high-protein Snickerdoodle cookies, which is what you'll learn in this video. As always, I'll list the ingredients in the description, but you will need 1 scoop of Snickerdoodle protein powder and 1 scoop of plain casein protein powder. This blend helps keep the cookie moist and prevents it from drying out. You'll also need a 1/3 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar sweetener, half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Mix the dry ingredients around with a whisk, and in a separate bowl, add 1 egg, a 1/4 cup sugar-free maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then stir the wet ingredients around with a fork before adding them to your dry ingredients. This is a classic baking technique that helps distribute flavors evenly and prevents the flour from clumping. And when you're working with protein powder, you definitely don't want any clumping. Now that we have our dough ready, we can start forming the cookies. I like to roll up the dough into evenly sized balls before flattening them out ever so slightly. And as a pro tip, it's much easier to do this when your hands are a little wet, so do this step near the sink. Keep in mind, this recipe makes 8 cookies, and if that's not enough protein cookies for you, double or even triple the recipe. I've always heard that buying in bulk is a good thing, so if you live by this model, you'll want to make as many cookies as possible. Next, we can throw the cookies in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. At the end of the day, the exact cooking time totally depends on your oven. While the cookies are in the oven, you can make the Snickerdoodle sugar coating. All you need for this step is 1 part cinnamon and 3 parts granulated sweetener. I use 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 3 teaspoons of sweetener and had plenty left over. When the cookies are done, go ahead and remove them from the oven and immediately add your sugar coating. Make sure to do this step while the cookies are still warm because it helps them stick better to the surface. Now the part we've all been waiting for, the macros. Each Snickerdoodle cookie has 61 calories, 12 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fat, and 7 grams of protein. Keep in mind, there's a real balancing act when making these healthier baked goods. Could I have added more protein? Absolutely. But at what cost? Throwing in scoops of protein powder will dry out the texture and make them taste horrible. Considering there's about 1 to 2 grams of protein in an average cookie, I think this is a good alternative. Let me know in the comments if you knew about the meaning behind Snickerdoodle, because I think it's one of the most random facts I've ever learned, and I'm curious to know how many people knew about this. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel if you enjoy these high protein, low calorie recipes.